This looks like a weekend-long project, but it was actually a one-night knit, and in this case, barely over an hour. This is a new series called One Night Knits, small, mostly free projects that you can finish start to end in one evening. Nothing precious, nothing even precious adjacent, just practical, functional, quick one-night knits. And this headband took me just over 1 hour from start to finish. If you're new here, welcome to Knit Mech. I'm Erin, a mechanical engineering professor and mom who's rediscovering my childhood hobby of knitting. This is the winter morning headband designed by Kalurah Hudson. I've linked the pattern down below so you can check out all of the details. But this knits up quickly on size 13 needles. It's a super bulky weight yarn and has just enough texture to feel cozy and comfy without creating a whole complicated situation. I wanted something warm, fast, and inexpensive, and to use up some of this bulky yarn in my stash. And honestly, I needed a low-risk cable project before I commit to larger, more intense cable projects during this year. The yarn I used is Knit Picks Mighty Stitch. It's 80% acrylic, 20% wool, and 100% perfect for a one-night project like this. It's soft, it's super bulky, it's a nice color, it's low risk, and it's inexpensive. I got this skein for $2 on the Knit Picks sale in November. For this new series of one-night knits, I'm hoping to include some time-lapse footage of me working on this project so you can see just how quickly these projects knit up. This isn't a totally mindless knit, but it's also not demanding. The cables slow things down just enough to keep your mind and hands engaged. It looks like there are 9 cables, but they are only 4-stitch cables, so you only have to put 2 on a cable needle at a time. If you're new to cables, this might be a great project for you to work on because it gives you some cable practice without feeling too overwhelming and with creating a whole entire project in just over an hour. This is the kind of project that keeps your hands busy but gives your mind a break. If you're new to knitting, there are 3 techniques in this project that may be new to you. One is the cable, which I already discussed. The second is a provisional cast on, which essentially means you're casting on with a different yarn, not the yarn for your project, starting your project and then going back later to remove that beginner yarn so that you can do something with live stitches. And the something that you'll do with live stitches is the Kitchener stitch at the end. The Kitchener stitch is a nice and easy technique that seams 2 rows of live stitches together. In this project, the Kitchener stitch, while it's not totally seamless, definitely created a nice seam on this project. So here, I'll get a close-up here. This is where I did my Kitchener stitch, and you can see on the knit stitches, it's essentially seamless, but then when you have purl stitches, since you're doing just a regular Kitchener stitch, it's not exactly seamless, but on the cables, again, it's pretty seamless. And if you look at the project as a whole, it doesn't show too much, right? You can tell it's a little wonky over here, but generally the Kitchener stitch is a fairly seamless way to join 2 rows of live stitches. So if the provisional cast on or the Kitchener stitch are new techniques for you, I've linked them below with some videos and tutorials that you can check out. I also think this is a great idea to learn these techniques on a small project like this because you're not committing to something or investing a lot of time and effort into something when you're practicing or learning a new skill. So the risk is low and the potential to learn a skill that you'll use in future projects is high. About halfway through this knit, it became quite clear that this was a much bulkier project than I typically prefer. I normally like smaller, thinner accessories, but this one really leans into the chunky and the cozy. And honestly, for a change, that was okay. The finishings on this project were also quick. I did use the Kitchener stitch, but there were only 14 stitches on each needle, which means it went by pretty quickly. I didn't actually have a darning needle that was large enough to fit this super bulky weight yarn, so I just used my fingers and a crochet hook to thread the yarn through the various stitches. And this relatively quick finish is one of the reasons this project makes an excellent one-night knit. So now's the time I put it on. Again, it's not my favorite look, okay? So will I gift this to someone? Maybe. Will I keep it for myself? Maybe. My hair looks kind of crazy with these glasses, but it definitely serves the purpose. It's warm, It's quite chunky, and I think it looks really nice, honestly, when it's on. If bulky knits are your thing, you're gonna love this. So I don't know what I'll end up doing with this. It may end up as a gift. It may end up as my daughter's. I'm not sure. It's bulkier than my typical preference, but it's definitely warm and it serves a purpose. And I think it looks really nice. The stitch definition is obviously excellent because of this yarn. I'm not sure how the yarn will hold up, but I'm also not too concerned about it. If you like bulkier knits, this might be just the thing for a one-night knit, something you can easily grab for a winter morning walk. This is a perfect project if you want something practical, wearable, and something that knits up extremely quickly. If you love texture but you don't want a lot of commitment, or if you want to practice some new skills like Kitchener stitch, cables, or provisional cast on. I could definitely see this as a future gift knit for my daughter or some of her friends. I may, in that case, reduce the stitch count to make it a little thinner on their little heads. If you're craving something delicate and lightweight to knit up, this is not the project for you. But for me, this pattern has earned its place as a reliable, low-risk, quick one-night knit. If you have a go-to project for a one-night knit, or ideas for me to do a one-night knit for future videos, please comment below. I'm excited to start this series and use it as a bit of a stash buster and also as a way for me to do some new, smaller projects. If you enjoy quiet, realistic, approachable knitting projects that can easily fit into your real life, then I think you'll enjoy the new series of one-night knits. Please subscribe below so you don't miss the next episode. Happy knitting!